Chapter 6. The Sunsets. One day, the little prince spoke about sunsets. He said, "I love sunsets very much." On his tiny planet, sunsets came often. The planet was so small, he only had to move his chair a little. Then he could watch the sun go down again. He told me, "Sometimes I watched one sunset. Sometimes I watched 2 or 3. Sometimes, when I felt very sad, I watched 40 sunsets in one day." I was surprised. 40? I asked. "Yes, 40, he said quietly. Then I asked him, "Were you very sad that day?" But he did not answer my question. He only looked at the sky. His eyes were soft and far away. He whispered again, "I love sunsets very much." I wanted to ask more, but I stayed silent. I felt his sadness. I knew it was a gentle secret, a secret of the heart. Chapter 7. The Flower. Day by day, I learned more about the little prince's life. One morning, he told me about his flower. On his tiny planet, a special seed had grown. It was not like other flowers. It was new, it was different, it was beautiful. First it was small and green, then it grew taller. Then came a big bud, like a closed box. The little prince watched every day. He waited with hope. At last the bud opened. A flower came out, slowly, like a queen. She had soft red petals. She was very proud. She was very lovely. The flower said, "Oh, how beautiful I am! Look at me. The sun has just risen, and I am already awake." The little prince was shy. He said, "You are beautiful." The flower smiled. She knew it already. She said, "Please bring me water. I do not like the cold night. Please put a glass dome over me." The little prince loved her. He wanted to care for her. But he did not always understand her words. Sometimes she asked too much. Sometimes she sounded proud. He began to feel sad. He thought, "Maybe she does not love me." But deep in his heart, he did love her. And she loved him too. But they did not understand each other well. Chapter 8. Leaving the Planet. At last, the little prince decided to leave his planet. He cleaned his volcanoes. He pulled up the last baobab sprouts. He carried water for his flower. The flower said to him, "Forgive me. I was foolish. I did not know how to show my love. But I do love you." The little prince was surprised. Her voice was soft. Her eyes were kind. She said, "Be happy. Do not worry about me. I will be fine." She did not want him to see her cry. She was a proud flower, but she had a tender heart. The little prince put a glass dome over her. Then he lifted it again. He wanted to say goodbye. He felt very sad. She said, "Go. Do not stand here. It makes it harder. Go find your journey. Go and learn." So the little prince left his planet. He began his long travel among the stars. Chapter 9. The First Planets. The little prince visited many small planets. Each one had only one grown-up on it. Each grown-up was strange. Each grown-up taught him something. The first planet had a king. The king wore a big robe. He sat on a throne. He said, "Ah, here is a subject. Bow to me." The little prince asked, "Why should I bow?" The king said, "Because I am the king. I command everything." The little prince looked around. There was no one else. "Who do you rule?" he asked. The king said, "I rule everyone. I rule the stars. I rule the sun. I rule the moon." But when the prince asked the king to make the sun set, the king said, "Not yet. I must wait for the right time. Then I will command it." The little prince thought, "This man has no real power. He only gives orders that will happen anyway." So he said goodbye and left. Chapter 10. The Vain Man. The next planet had a vain man. The man wore a hat. He loved to hear people praise him. He said, "Ah, here comes a visitor. Clap your hands for me. Clap your hands." The little prince clapped. The man bowed. He lifted his hat. He smiled proudly. The man said, "Do it again." The little prince clapped again. The man bowed again. Soon the prince grew tired. He asked, "Why do you want this?" The man said, "I want everyone to admire me. I want everyone to say I am the best." The little prince thought, "This man is very silly. He wants praise from everyone, but he is all alone. No one is here except me." He said goodbye and left. He thought, "Grown-ups are very strange." Chapter 11. The Drunkard. The next planet had a drunkard. He sat in front of bottles. Some bottles were full. Some bottles were empty. The little prince asked, "What are you doing?" The man said, "I am drinking." "Why are you drinking?" asked the prince. "To forget," the man answered. "Forget what?" asked the prince. "Forget that I am ashamed," said the man. "Why are you ashamed?" asked the prince. "I am ashamed because I drink," the man said. The little prince was puzzled. The man drank to forget his shame, but he was ashamed because he drank. It was a circle with no end. The prince sighed. He said softly, "Grown-ups are very, very strange." And he left the planet. Chapter 12. The Businessman. The next planet had a businessman. He sat at a desk. He counted stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 501,622,731. "What are you doing?" asked the prince. "I am counting the stars," said the man. "Why?" asked the prince. "Because I own them," the man answered. "You own the stars?" asked the prince. "Yes," said the man proudly. "They belong to me. I write down the number in my book. Then I lock the book in my desk. That is how I own them." The little prince thought, "This man does not really own the stars. He only writes numbers. It is not useful. He said, I own a flower. I water it every day. It gives me joy. You own only numbers in a book. The businessman did not listen. He kept counting. 1, 2, 3. The prince left and whispered, Grown-ups are very strange. Chapter 13. The Lamplighter. The next planet was very small. It had a lamp post. It had one lamplighter. The lamplighter lit the lamp in the evening. He put it out in the morning. That was his job. But on this planet, the day was very short. Every minute the sun rose. Every minute the sun set. So the lamplighter lit the lamp, and then he put it out, again and again. He worked without rest. He had no time to sleep. He had no time to enjoy life. The prince felt sorry for him. He said, At least your work has meaning. When you light the lamp, it is like bringing one more star to life. When you put it out, it is like letting the star rest. That is beautiful. But the lamplighter was too tired to listen. He only said, Orders are orders. The prince stayed a little longer here than on other planets. He thought, This man is less strange. He works for something outside himself. But at last, he went on. Chapter 14. The Geographer. The next planet had a geographer. The geographer sat at a desk full of books. He wrote big notes. What are you doing? Asked the prince. I am a geographer. I know where mountains are. I know where rivers are. I know where cities are, the man said. Do you go and see them yourself? Asked the prince. Oh, no, said the man. I never leave my desk. I ask explorers. They tell me. Then I write it down. The prince asked, Tell me about my flower. The geographer said, I do not write about flowers. They live only a short time. They are not permanent. I write about things that last forever. The prince was sad. His flower was very important to him. But the geographer did not care. The geographer said, You should visit Earth. It is a very big planet. So the prince decided to go there.